It is boss drop time, and today we will be touching on some Doom items a little bit later on. First of all though, we're looking at the human clock. This is at Joy Magician, and there is a load of Darkon styled items they are able to get here. Obviously, some of them are slightly more tormented than others, but there are some pretty cool bits, and I know many of us are fans of these types of arts. There's also only a couple legend items within this list. There's a couple AC tagged bits, but the vast majority is just outright free player. So if you do like any of the items here, it's well worth heading along, taking a look at this map and trying to get yourself some of these boss drops. Our next map though is going to be stepping a little bit into the past now. It doesn't feel like the past, it still feels like it only came out yesterday, but over at Join the Span, you're able to get the Seekers of Chaos sets. This is for legends only. However, it's one of those sets I didn't even realise was here. So there you go, that's what it looks like. Moving on to our next map, we are at Join Stormtemple. So yes, that means it's time to look at Lionfang. We've got a couple Chaos Lords coming up back to back, and if you do like your Chaos gear and you've never gone along farming all the Chaos Lord drops, then these certainly could very well be for you. You do get the odd free player bit, but back then, due to the heavy lean towards memberships, you'll find a lot of them will be legend tagged. It's just the way the game was back then. It wasn't so much AC focused. Talking of Chaos Lords, we also have Join talkypalooza. You can fight Discordia, who has a few different drops for you, and then later on you'll also find yourself Kimberly. I thought it was just worth mentioning Kimberly because there is this one-eyed doll sword which may tickle your pickle. Next, we're going to join techdungeon. This is where this video is going to get slightly more interesting, because I imagine many of you probably joined this one, in particular for those Doom items. There's not only Doom items here, there's also one I describe as a lightsaber sword. Calron is the boss of this map. This is where you can get yourself an enormous cyborg armor, as well as that light blade that we were speaking of. That's not all from him though. There is also a second mini set within here. There's the Zealous items, including the Zealous Paladin. Only the one legend tagged item within that drop list, which is a pleasant sight to see after the way this video started out. Here we go then, Tech Fortress. The first thing to mention within the Tech Fortress War merge, you're able to get a Necromancer armor as well as a Lich armor. That's not all though, the weapons does feature the ultimate blinding light of destiny if you want to work towards something a bit trickier. The boss here, this Mecha Vortrix, will be dropping the Cybernetic Doom blade. I thought that was going to be like a seasonal tag with it, but doesn't appear to be one. These seasonal items that you can see are to May the 4th, so you are going to have to wait a whole year or so if you're watching this video right now until you're able to obtain those. But there is other items within here, including this Doom armor set. There is the Necrotic Scythe of Doom as well. If you are a collector of those necrotic items, that is definitely one you want to be picking up. Annoyingly, it doesn't have an AC tag, and neither does that Cybernetic Doom blade, which I think is atrocious. But hey, I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. Next up is Join Templedelve. We're highlighting the Demon Hunter's Visage helm, just because I thought it was nice to highlight a helm for a change. You go along to the boss, which is going to be this Doomed Fiend, and these are the items you're able to get. There are some really quite quirky and out there weapons. There's the Visage we mentioned just a second ago. There's a Doom Worm Pet if you want the boss as a worm. That is really quite out there as well. There's these Nation Ritualist sets, as well as one more right at the bottom, which is a Void Nation version of that set. Maybe it's colour custom or something. I haven't looked into it. That's just a pure guess. Join a temple. If you do go to the temple and speak to the Stone Paladin, there is the temple shop. You can get yourself, as a free player, the Stone Paladin armor. I do like those quirky ones, so might as well give it a shout out on our way. At the bottom is the Lich. If you fight the Lich, you could get yourself the Holy Bird daggers, and there is also this tool set. Both of those are for legends only. It's a similar story if you decide to fight the Dracolich. The Dracolich does have the Rift Warden armor. I think that's about a 5% drop rate. I particularly like the face guard. I never realised there was actually a face guard available. I don't know if it's animated or not, but even still, I really do fancy going and getting that now. Here we have a Templeseege, where you can find yourself a Doomed Oblivion. This specifically is where you can get yourself your Skew items. So if you love Skew, you can get yourself a Skew hood. There is also Skew on your back, as well as a Skew robe. Next, we're over at Join Secret Archive, or Terex Archive, whichever way around you prefer to say it. We'll have a quick look within the shop here first, and then we're just going to give a very brief shout out to these monsters here. These Magus monsters, if you do go along defeating these, there are a couple weapons that you're able to pick up. That might actually be a cape, so I've just thrown the whole thing I was saying into disarray. Never mind, we'll just try and not lose the rest of the trail of thought. There are also these fiendish devourers. You can get their blade as a drop if you would like it. Our next map is Join Tercesinvasion, or Secret Invasion. We're specifically shouting out this monster right here. There are a couple other mini-boss in the map with drops as well, but you can get yourself the Void Trident of Deception if you are a fan of tridents. Next up is Join Terrarium. I thought this drop was meant to be going rare, however it still appears to be listed on the wiki from the doppelganger of Will. Star Shaper First Contact is the name of the weapon. So here we have got the Draco Werepire over at the Chaoscave. Again, we're going a little bit back in time right here. However, differently, we have got many free player items. So if you do see any of these slightly quirkier and more out there items that you fancy, you could well go and grab them. But we are also going to be going over to yet another map that came out many a moon ago, and that is going to be the Cloister. You can fight Wendigo, and if you would like to look like Wendigo, then that is something you can also do. There is a full-blown armor. And on that note, it moves us on to our final map, which is going to be the Deathpits. You've got the Deathpits rewards, as well as a Jack Sprat type monster down at the bottom. You can use the arrows next to the NPC in the top right corner if you'd like to quickly get down there. Anyway, folks, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope there's a couple of things in this video that you'd like to pick up. As always, it's a bit of luck as to what we're going to show, because we're going through literally every single map that we can. And that means, until next time, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again incredibly soon.